Melanated.
Hi guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. And this is my sister Sawai and my nephew Ladani. Okay, so we're going to be reviewing or doing a recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. I am not a fan of the Real Housewives franchise. I think I watched like one season, maybe a season and a half of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I never really got into it. It was just a little too messy for me. So I decided that I wanted to try to get into this Potomac series to see if it's good, because it's another group of black women, affluent black women from an affluent part of the country. And I invited my sister because she and I have very different ideas of this show. So I wanted to wait until I saw 2 episodes to make sure that I actually liked the show and I had something to say about it. And I have to say that I really, really like it. For whatever reason, I'm into the 2 Vanessa Williams look-alike. I love the idea of, like, you know, the 2 legacy girls, Giselle and Katie. I love the Charisse and Karen, just how they're, like, you know, coming from the bottom, now we're here. And okay. And how Ashley, they just introduced Ashley, the newcomer, to this 2nd episode. And Robin. I think Robin's legacy too, right? Yeah. She's from Potomac?
Yeah.
So Katie, Giselle, and Robin are from Potomac. Charisse and Karen are not. And then Ashley is not either. So it's a really interesting group of women. And it's also, I wanted to call it like the Real Housewives of Light-Skindia, because they're like,
Absolutely.
like, it's so funny. But anyways, I still love the show, and it doesn't matter to me that they're light skinned, but it was just so interesting when I was watching it. I was like,
I'm not that into it, to be honest. I mean, it's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but I just can't stand the bouginess. I just think it's overly bougie and just, nah. But continue.
I mean, I like it. Okay, so in the first episode, what happened was we got introduced to the ladies. We found out that Giselle is legacy, that her father marched with Martin Luther King or somebody. And we found out that Robin is legacy too. She grew up in Potomac. They both moved away, had kids, got divorced, moved back, or something like that. I think Robin's married to she was married to a basketball player, but they're still living together. Right. Giselle was married to a prominent pastor, and he cheated on her a lot. She has 3 kids. And then Karen grew up on a farm. But she's also in like her 50s, if not pushing 60. She's in her mid to late 50s. And she's married to some man that is apparently the Black Bill Gates, even though I don't believe it.
No.
Like I'm like, dude, she doesn't mean Bill Gates.
Right.
Like, she means
money,
like,
but he doesn't have billionaire money.
Yeah, he's not a billionaire. Like, they're not billionaires. Like, I'm waiting for the private jet, because when they have a private jet, then I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, he's the Black Bill Gates. But I'm like, Karen, you're not Melinda Gates, so
right. And Miss Dot rolled up in like the basic Nissan. I'm just saying.
Miss Dot rolled up in a Nissan in a crocheted sweater. Like, like, I don't care how much etiquette you have. Like, no, we see through you. And we have 2 doctors in our family. Okay, girl, so do we.
Yeah,
like,
right.
What does that mean? You don't have a doctorate, so what does that mean? I'm not gonna live off the my cousin's life.
Right.
Why? Okay, anyways, so in the first episode we got introduced to them. And Charisse, she is married to a basketball coach. I guess he used to coach the Wizards at some point.
Now he's at Rutgers. And Ashley, we just got introduced to the second episode. So let's just continue the first episode. Also, Katie, we got introduced to her. She is the daughter of a philanthropist. It's not clear their legacy as well. It's not clear where the parents have gotten their money from, but they all grew up. Giselle, Katie, and Robin grew up in Potomac. The other 2 ladies, Karen and Charisse, are newcomers, or transplants rather, and then Ashley's a newcomer as well. Right. Okay, so as far as the first episode goes, it was good. It was interesting. They had some tiffs. It was Karen's birthday. Charisse was throwing the party, and Giselle got there first. Karen was late, so was Charisse, and Karen was sitting in the middle seat. I'm sorry, Giselle was sitting in the middle seat, and Karen felt some sort of way about it. My thing is that someone should have just said something to her, like, move out of the way, so that... You have something to say?
Move out of the way so that,
the person of honor could sit there. The birthday girl needs to sit in them. But that should have been Sharice's job. Sharice is not speaking up enough. And I don't like this whole idea that people should know how to behave. Like, that's not... I think you should set someone up for success. If you're really friends with somebody, if that is your friend, that whenever they're doing something wrong or you find to be uncouth, you need to tell them. Like, period, point blank, no excuse. They should have known, nothing, not on zilch. They're your friend, you let them know. So Sharice should have said something to Giselle, like, Giselle, I want you to move over because I'm gonna want Karen to sit there.
Exactly.
Or, you know, whatever. Katie is like, oh, I'm biracial, I'm Jewish, you know,
Katie's
I love
in La La Land to me.
and I'm actually fine with Katie being in La La Land.
Yeah, like, I don't have a problem with it, but, like, come on, girl, like, that, the guy that she's with clearly is, like, not as into you as you are into him.
He's a fool. And also, like,
he's not ready to take on that responsibility.
Yeah, three kids, girl. Like, he's a fool. He thought what was going to happen was that he was going to get with this really pretty black girl, and that she had her own money, she had her own shit, and that he wasn't going to be expected to help her raise kids, and he was wrong.
Right.
Because you would think a woman with 3 kids, not in the 1950s, would understand that, like, she needs to make her own money. If, you know, can't be looking for a new husband to, especially if you come from money. Like, why would she even be looking for a new husband and a new father for her kids? Clearly, they're taken care of. Also, Robin, I'm not gonna judge Robin's situation the way, like, I feel like Giselle is judging it. Like, if Robin wants to live in the house with her ex-husband, like, let her do her thing. Like, no one is in her life. Like, nobody needs to be worried about her wedding dress. Like, none of that. Let her live her life.
Right.
And do it the way she needs to do it, because raising kids is hard. And if her husband is willing, her ex-husband is willing to live in the house with her so that they could raise the kids together, then let them have their thing. Don't tell her that her husband needs to leave if he's going to be dating somebody else. Like, get out of that. Get out of that bedroom, Giselle. Get out of that bedroom. And Robin is absolutely right. If she gets her heart broken, it's on her.
Exactly.
Done. Yeah, Karen, you're right. Karen is a little pretentious. Like, this whole, like, married to the Black Bill Gates, and then their house is real basic. Like,
no, I can't with Karen. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first episode, I'm thinking, yeah, she's the girl you love to hate. But by the second one, I'm just like, I can't even love to hate her. Like, I just can't tolerate her.
I'm just like, you need to get somebody to come in your house and decorate, because you don't have nothing on the walls.
For real.
Like,
did you guys see that old phone she was doing the intercom with?
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
I was like, okay, girl.
She's like, Ray or whatever his name is. I'm like, Ray, and he's like, I'm like, if he is the Black Bill Gates, why is he even running any errands for her? Doesn't she have, like, someone to do that for? Don't they have a housekeeper? Like, don't they have, like, I don't know. It's just, she's adding too much, and her fake boobs are so big that it looks weird.
Man, her little
she
body
looks so top heavy, it's ridiculous.
Wendy Williams, like,
yes, that is exactly what it looked like. I will say she did look good in that Diane von Furstenberg dress at the crab boil. Okay, so now let's get to that. Let's get to the crab boil, because we were arguing about that crab boil.
Conflicting.
Okay. I see why Sharice didn't stick up for herself, because that's how women are. Not women, but that's how people are, I should say. I see myself, whenever I'm in a misunderstanding with a person, it's always because they just didn't tell me that my behavior was offensive. They just didn't nip the situation in the bud. And I feel like Sharice, if she was really Giselle's friend, she would have pulled Giselle aside when they were in the kitchen making a lot of noise and said, look, you came with your friend. You didn't tell me he was coming. He showed up. He talked about my hair. Then we went around and I played the game of, like, dealing. Yeah, I did. I played the game with dealing with, the situation. Dealing with the crabs and situation. Like, I get it. It's good for TV. However, like, I feel very disrespected in this moment. I feel a little blindsided or whatever. She should have said that. I personally feel like Giselle should have known better than to bring that man upstairs. I don't care what happened. I don't care. So why says differently?
For me personally, I felt like if you're not going to, like you said, nip it in the butt, don't get mad when things get out of control. Like, to me, they were under the impression, for whatever reason, with things that Sharice said, that
he was going to have something to do with her hair. Granted, yes, she should have double checked with Charisse before bringing him upstairs. Yes, it's etiquette. Yes,
it's not even etiquette, girl. It's like
manners,
I get mad. We have a 2-story home, and when we have parties, I have to mentally prepare myself for people coming upstairs, because the first time we had a party and people were upstairs using the restroom, I hadn't cleaned it. I was freaking out. So for me, it's you don't go up people's stairs. I don't care unless they specifically say come up in an hour. When you're done, you guys come up. Don't come up my stairs.
To me, you know what? I agree. She should have known better. Charisse should have said something. If they're really friends like that, Giselle would have known better, to me, and she would have acted differently. So they're just really not as great of friends as being.
They're not as close. Maybe they've known each other for a long time, but they never got that close.
They've just been in the same circle.
Yeah, and that's a misunderstanding too. But also, if Giselle really wanted to make amends with these girls, if she really wanted to be friends with both Karen and really apologize, she would have just said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you." Done. She wouldn't have tried to explain anything. She wouldn't have tried to. She wouldn't have sent those cards. She wouldn't have made those fake ass note with her kids. She wouldn't have done any of that. She just would have been an adult and said, "I'm sorry." Now I know it makes good TV, so I get why she might have taken that road. But I do think that Charisse and Karen were a little extra when they sat down at dinner. At lunch. They could have just said, look, I don't want to argue with you. I feel like you're in the wrong. You can't even, whatever. I just felt like they were a little...
Yeah, they were extra as hell when they sat down at that table, just like she said, the Sour Patch Kids. That's exactly how they were. They just had bad attitudes. I don't think they came in there with any type of mind space to reconcile anything. I feel like unless Giselle was on her knees, begging them to be friends with her again, or whatever the case may be, I really don't feel like they planned on even being cool with Giselle at the end of it all.
I do think though that this is what's happening. It's legacy versus not legacy. So Giselle was raised in this environment. Her and Robin can be as real as they want to be or can be in this situation. And no one can really take Potomac society away from them, because they are Potomac society. They were raised in it. They were debutantes in this society. They were a part of this culture before Karen and Charisse got there with their extra rules. Now, here's the deal. Karen and Charisse are like that because they came from the bottom. They are not used to this type of environment. So for them, they have to act and have these airs and be these types of people in order to feel like they fit in, because it's not innate for them. Karen admittedly only got here 20 years ago. What is her daughter, 18? And she has a son from a previous situation that isn't her Bill Gates son. So she walked into this situation and on the come up. So she has a lot more to prove and a lot more to hold on to. And yes, I do think her way of behaving is a little bit, I like it. I'm fine with it. I don't care if it's bougie. You can call it whatever it is. I feel like people need to have decorum. If we're not family, you need to have decorum.
Right, but there's a way of going to me about explaining that. It's not Potomac this, Potomac that, etiquette this, etiquette that. It's all so over the top. It's all drawn out. It's all so fake to me. And it's just I just can't.
Why is it fake though? You don't
Because to me it's not it's all acting to me. To her, I just see her as an actress. I'm acting this way. This is what Aunt Dot taught me to act like. So this is how I'm gonna be, and I'm just but times 50. You can have etiquette, you can have class, you can be that person, but you don't have to belittle and down people and just put yourself on this extremely high pedestal in order to get people to understand that this is how you feel that you should act. I just don't think that you have to put on all the airs.
Okay, and that's interesting that you say that. So then let's jump to Giselle and Ashley. So Robin was absolutely correct. When Giselle got around Ashley, she got all of a sudden oh, you're not from Potomac. Mm-hmm. When in the circle of Charisse and Karen, Giselle is an Ashley. And then when you're around Giselle and Ashley, Giselle's all of a sudden oh, she's not from Potomac. That's very thoughtish. What's thoughtish? She's young. She's 26. She's super cute. She's really bubbly. She's very nice. If a guy tries to hit on her, she's going to turn around and say something. Why shouldn't she? Why should she?
You try to hit on him and then say something.
No. He tried to hit on her and she turned around and said something to him
Oh,
Why are you in the conversation?
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, she's. I mean, I do think there's some history with Ashley being married to a man who's 55. I think that she says she grew up very poor and never knowing, having to get food from the church. So I think the part of her marrying somebody who's that much older than her is just her really wanting to make sure that she's secure. That she's secure in life, and he seems to love her, and he's given her everything that she wants, and so at some point she's gonna tire of him, maybe not, but that's what I think is gonna happen. And so while she's able to do this, let her do it. I personally couldn't be with him. He's 55, but he's not cute, so I wouldn't be able to deal with it. It looks like he's a 55-year-old man's body, which is not what I'm interested in. But yeah, I like Ashley. I'm gonna see how it turns out. I love that Robin was like, "You've been hanging around with too many white people." I'm like, Vanessa Williams, let me talk about she been hanging out with too many white people. I don't like this idea that Katie being Jewish is so upsetting to Giselle. Giselle has such strong opinions about everything, which is why I think
she does.
That she and I are kind of similar, but I'm a little bit more open. I'm like, look. If Katie's mother decided to become a child of God through Judaism, like Whoopi Goldberg and Sammy Davis Jr., if they decided to convert and some synagogue let them convert, let these people convert. If they want to be the child of Israel, let them convert. And everyone's so upset about it. Isn't it weird going to a synagogue? I mean, yeah, whatever. That was their journey. If she wants to give her kids their Hebrew name, give it to them.
But Katie looked crazy to me. Because first of all, it's clear Katie is not that into the religion. To me, she's just very oh, do you speak Hebrew? Yeah, no. Girl, you knew you didn't speak. You knew you wanted to, you knew you should have said no.
Yeah.
But you tried to play it off, but you were like, nah, I can't even say one word in Hebrew, so I'm going to say no. I'm going to keep it real.
Yeah.
So, to me, she looks a little silly, but like you said, let her do what she wants to do. Giselle is very, like you said, very opinionated. I think Giselle says a lot of ignorant things, but I like Giselle. You know what I mean? To me, she's more likable than Karen. You know? And that's just what it is. I'm not going to condone some of the stuff she does, when she spoke about Ashley's hair, or when she said, girl, you're not a fish, this ain't a fish fry.
Oh, yeah, when she's talking about Ashley's hair, I was like, no. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
You're a black woman, yet you're talking about her natural hair.
Right.
I don't play that. I don't like any of that backsliding when it comes to that. Either you're going to support black women and you're going to support them in all forms, or, don't act like, you're about that life. You're not, and it's interesting because I know that Giselle, both of her parents are black. I'm not sure if Robin, both of her parents are black. I feel like Robin is half black, half white.
She's claiming that it's not that case, but yeah.
No, I think she said when she looks in the mirror, she sees a black woman that she identifies as black, but I think she might be biracial.
I could have sworn she said that both her parents were black. Was it Giselle who said that?
Giselle said that. Giselle said that.
Okay.
Giselle said that.
Oh.
I'm not, I'm not trying to say
right.
I do think it's weird though that Katie's a little bit my dad is Caucasian, because she doesn't look like Robin and Giselle, she needs to constantly say she's biracial and how she identifies as a biracial person. And this is me. I don't see the benefit of claiming being white if you can't pass. That's just me though, because otherwise there's no benefit in it. I'm not saying deny your family. I'm not saying act like, you're not biracial, but if there's no, phenotype benefit of looking white, then why sing it from the rafters? Who cares?
Right.
But that's just me. Let all the women be the kind of blacks that they want to be. It's always light-skinned women to me trying to tell somebody how to be black. I'm like, yeah, okay. You're trying to overcompensate for something. Ashley is representing with her natural hair. Take all the seats, ma'am. I like Giselle. I think she's good to stir up the issue, but I don't think she's as holier as thou as she likes to think she is.
I agree.
I don't think Karen is either. I need for Charisse to step it up, because right now she's just kind of a lame, boring duck.
Oh, and real quick, let's talk about Charisse and her husband though for a second. Girl,
I know they're trying to allude to the fact that they're not together, which is fine. But until that situation goes, I'm not gonna, whatever. She's talking about she's really into her kids and
oh my girl.
Okay.
All right. This, you don't want to talk about it. Understandable. You don't have to talk about it to these group of women.
Yeah.
But we see you.
And I love that Giselle's trying to call everybody out on everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, let me try to call people out and stuff. Are you over? He gave us like 24 minutes. He's so good.
Solid, guys.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for episode 1 and 2 of the first season of Real Housewives of Potomac. I hope you'll come back and watch this conversation that me and my sister will be having. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. All right, have a fantastic day. Bye.
Bye.